So you joined in between in June, right? For the
Yes.
November exam. So what all topics you missed? So how did you cover those topics?
So before coming to the lectures, I used to see your recording lectures, and you also had those live sessions uploaded on it, like the recent freshmen. So I used to watch both the videos, and if in case I had any query when I used to come for the lectures, I used to ask you.
You solved all the question bank at that point in time?
Yes, I started solving quiz one around August.
And what were the major reasons that you thought that because of which I could not clear? What was your learning from it?
So, firstly, I was overconfident. I feel that because I was conceptually clear, I was like, I can go through this exam, I can do this in my first attempt itself. But it didn't turn out like that.
And when you started solving this type, okay, did you find easy questions or difficult questions? What was the first 1 hour?
The first 1 hour was like, it was moderate. There were a few questions, simple, straightforward questions. And there were a few questions where I had to actually put in my head that, no, this is not a plug and play question, I have to think for it.
And how many questions, as per your understanding, out of that second attempt, 100 questions, were very tough, medium tough, or easy? Hello friends, hi, this is Ganesh Naik. I help finance professionals and students to excel in their career and become a better version of themselves. And I also help students preparing for competitive exams in finance like CFA, FRM, and SCR. So today we have with us one of our students who has been able to clear the FRM Level 1 exam in the May 2024 attempt, sorry. And she's going to be talking about her journey of preparing for the exam and what challenges she faced and how did he manage to overcome those challenges. And this was her second attempt. So we're also going to be talking about what changes she made in the preparation for the second attempt. So Sristi, thank you very much for joining in. So ऑडियंस के बेनिफिट के लिए बिफोर स्टार्टिंग एफआरएम क्या प्रोफाइल था आपका?
Thank you for inviting me, firstly, sir, and for your guidance. So, before starting my FRM, I was a PGDFM student, that is post graduation in Diploma for Financial Management. Then I'm also working in a bank right now after my FRM level 2, level 1. Okay. Then I did my graduation in accountancy and finance. Okay. Apart from that, I had an internship and all working on as a student.
Okay. When did you decide to start with the FRM and why did you decide it?
Correct. So actually, I was planning for abroad studies, and at that time, due to some reasons, I couldn't go last year. So I had 1 year's time span with me. So at that time, my mom said you can do some certification courses. So I had your number. Actually, I used to see your status ki
Achha.
levels pass. So I used to ask you that can I sit for this exam? So you said, are you like HSC pass and all? So you told me all the criterias, and then that's when I decided. And then you told me about what FRM exactly is about, and then we went ahead with the process, and I took you as my counselor.
So you attempted first for the November exam, correct. November 2023 exam.
Yes.
When did you started the preparation?
So November, actually I was late for the November batch. I started in June end or July starting. I don't really remember. But then when we started, I had your recording lectures and I was in the live batch, like the physical classes. So I used to see the videos, what you already covered, and I used to solve those through the textbook, like the Schwezer book. And I used to go through, underline those, and that's when I exactly started studying. And every day from that day, I had a rhythm of studying for FRM because I didn't have anything else to study at that time. I was fully focused for it.
So you joined in between in June, right?
Yes.
For the November exam. So what all topics you missed? So how did you cover those topics?
So before coming to the lectures, I used to see your recording lectures, and you also had those live sessions uploaded on it, like the recent freshmen. So I used to watch both the videos, and if in case I had any query when I used to come for the lectures, I used to ask you, and you used to give me the clarifications, and my concepts were very much clear at that time. So even after that, even after I covered up the previous sessions, we whenever I used to come for the lectures for the future batches as well, I used to see the videos first, and then I used to come for the lectures.
Okay, and you solved all the question bank at that point in time?
Yes, I started solving quiz one around August, and then I used to do regularly 2-3 quizzes. I used to read first, and then I used to start solving to see where I stand conceptually.
And when did you completed your first reading for the November exam?
For the November exam, around September starting, August and
So
September
you have
starting.
done everything.
Yeah, almost. I had like gone through it once, and even the lectures were over by that time. So I had a gist of what I have to cover up and where is my weak point, where I have to focus. So I gave it a thorough reading first at time, and then started with the question banks.
Okay, now for the November exam, when the result came in, you could not clear. What was the quartile that you got?
I had 3, 2, 4, 4, something like that.
Okay. And what were the major reasons that you thought that because of which I could not clear? What was your learning from it?
So, firstly, I was overconfident. I feel that because I was conceptually clear, I was like, I can go through this exam, I can do this in my first attempt itself. But it didn't turn out like that. And
Okay.
secondly, was that before the exams, I went through the concept, but only the important ones. So,
Okay.
FRM exam is an exam where only reading important is not enough.
Okay.
You have to go through the whole book twice, thrice, how many times ever you can possibly do, as many times as you can. And then apart from that, I also changed, like I used to study from 12 to 9, 10, 11, 12 in the day, during the daytimes. Like I used to study till late night, not early in the morning. So that was my mistake where I think I should have corrected it.
So now in the second attempt, you basically changed the timing of your preparation also.
Yes, I changed my timing. I used to wake up. My father used to wake me up at 5 in the morning, and because he used to say Brahma Muhurat. So I used to wake up early in the morning and I used to study. So like early in the morning, my mind used to be fresh. So I used to read the concepts. I used to start solving the quizzes. So early in the morning, it was faster for me because there was no disturbance for me. So like if I was sitting at 7 o'clock in the morning, by 11 o'clock, I used to complete 2 or 3 quizzes after reading as well. Like I used to read, solve, read, solve, read, solve. And after that, when I used to get tired, at that time, I used to start the rectification. Like this is where I'm going wrong. This is what I should improve. And I used to make notes of it. So I had those sticky notes on my books where I used to write the concepts or something which I can clear more on.
Got it.
So I used to make those notes. And later on in the night, I used to watch videos. Like you used to put short topic videos of which like banks is there. So banks ka video is there. So I used to see those videos for more clarification that, okay, this I can improve over here.
So this time again, you solved entire question bank again.
Yes.
Was there a jump in your accuracy?
Yes, so I did my quiz one. So over there, like when I gave my first attempt, I was around my ranking, like we had the rank in the question bank. So it was around 45 out of 190, something like that. Sorry, 100 out of 120, aisa kuch. Like it was very low. Now this time, second time when I gave, I was in the like upper rank. Like I used to have 45, 50. So I was almost like when I used to calculate my accuracy, it was around 60 to 70%.
Okay.
Even the mocks and the GARB sample paper. So when I gave my GARB sample paper, I was somewhere around 60, 57 to 60.
This attempt, basically.
Yes, yes.
And with respect to the overall books, which book you found very tough?
The book 4 in my first attempt was very tough, specifically the durations and all. I wasn't clear on that part. So I left that and I went for my first attempt. So that's where I went wrong. And then in the second attempt, I made sure that if duration comes, I have to knock this off. So I did duration, I did options, I did everything. Particularly, I used to pick one topic, options head, so I have to do fully options, valuation, so full valuation. So I used to sit at a go, cover that topic completely.
Okay. And what about book 2? Stats was a problem by any chance?
No, even in first attempt, I had like a second quartile in book 2, and this second attempt, I had first quartile in the book 2.
So you had any stats background?
I'm a mathematics student.
So then book 2 should not be problem.
Yeah, book 1, book 2 was not a problem. Okay. And book 3 was also not a problem. Book 4 was a bit complicated. And honestly, for the second attempt also, till the last month, I wasn't sure about book 4. But I said, abhi nahi to kabhi nahi, so I have to do it.
Okay. So how many mocks you solved overall total?
All the mocks you provided in the question bank, We had sample papers of previous years, then the GARB sample paper of the current year as well. And I also did additionally like Bionic Turtle ka you had sent, and you had a PDF in the Telegram group
Right.
of solving. So I went. So the PDFs one, what I did was, whenever I used to get tired during the last 1 month, I just did solving. So that was a PDF. So I used to not set ki isko 1 ghante mein khatam karna. I used to just, whenever even I had 5 minutes, even if I've been traveling somewhere, if I have 5 minutes, I have in the phone the PDF. I used to solve. Okay, this answer should be A. I used to verify. Okay, this is A, and I used to make markings. Okay, this question is right. This question is right. So that's, I never like allotted a time for those PDF questions. The timer questions, yes, I had allotted times. That early morning I have to do this.
And what was the score in those mocks?
Around 60. So first, the GARB sample paper when I gave, I scored around 62 to 65 somewhere.
2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second one when I gave, I was around 65, 67. So it improved. And mock papers also, I was around 59, 57, 59, 57.
Okay, all the Fintelligent mocks.
Yes.
And what was the score in the first attempt if you had given the mocks?
It was around 48, 50.
So there was a jump that you could see.
Yes.
What was the confidence level before you went to the actual exam?
The 2024, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so before the exam, I was very nervous that what will happen if I again fail. So I had this in my mind, and then I called my mother and I said that I'm very nervous right now, 10 minutes prior to exam. And then she said, listen, you studied 1 year for not crying before the exam. You have to get to. We are doing so much for you. So that hit me, and then I went in the exam, and then I was like, ye 4 ghanta will change my future. So I was like, I have to be confident. I have studied. It's not like I haven't given anything right now for this exam. So I have to study and I have to give the exam. So during the exam as well, I was reading the question twice or thrice. And then I was seeing the options, and then as you guided us, this is an elimination process.
Right.
We cannot just say that this is the answer. We have to eliminate it. So I used to eliminate 2 options, easily eliminated. 2 options were like very close, but they had like slight word difference, 1 or 2 words ka difference. So that's where you have to pick it up.
And when you started solving this time, okay, did you find easy questions or difficult question? What was the first 1 hour?
The first 1 hour was like, it was moderate. There were a few questions, simple, straightforward questions. And there were a few questions where I had to actually put in my head that, no, this is not a plug and play question. I have to think for it.
Okay.
So there were a few questions of quants and like the valuation book. There were a few questions where I had to solve, where I had to think. Like, even the theoretical questions, I have this habit of writing. So I used to write the keywords, and then I used to think, okay, this is provided, so this is being asked. Because sometimes what is being asked is also not very upfront.
Okay. And overall 4 hours, you were able to complete everything?
Yes, I had 10 minutes left for revaluation. So I had reviewed, like marked review for a few questions, like 4 to 5 questions. And then I went back to those questions. So that 10 minutes spare time I had to, because you guided us to, like, you have 4 hours, you have 100 questions. So you keep a target of 25 questions to 30 questions in an hour.
Yes.
So first 1 hour, I was around 20 questions.
Okay.
So second hour, I started catching up because there the questions were a bit easier.
Okay. And how many questions, as per your understanding, out of that second attempt, 100 questions, were very tough, medium tough, or easy?
So this I understood, like when I was giving the GARB sample paper on the portal, they mention it is a easy question, it is a moderate question. So I was comparing to that. So then 60 questions were easy. 20 questions are very difficult. 20 to 25 is moderate.
Okay. And your performance in the easy was obviously should be good. What was moderate? What was your thought process of those moderate questions?
So like over there, I used to read, as I said, I used to read and write. So moderate also, it was like plug and play, but you have to find what you have to find.
Acha, it's not very simple.
It was not very upfront question. So and the language they use is a top-notch language. So you need to have a very good grip on your language as well. You need to figure out what you have to find, what the answer is being asked, and even the answers are not very upfront. You need to know what they are asking and what the answer is providing you with.
And with respect to the, did you panic during the exam second time? Any chance?
Second attempt, I didn't panic.
First?
First attempt, I might have panicked because a few questions I skipped. I couldn't I skipped in the sense I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then at that time, I did panic first attempt. Second attempt wasn't, I didn't panic at all.
Okay, perfect. Now, when you came out of the exam, what was the number in your mind?
I had around 60 to 70 questions that I was right. So we are provided with papers in the exam. So I made 1 to 100 before starting the paper. I used to tick every question I was very sure of. So 30 questions, so I knew I was very, very, very sure of this is going to be right.
Okay.
And then after that, I knew that if I'm solving gap sample papers, I'm reaching to 60, 65. So few more questions would be right. So it would be around 25 to 30, if not 60. So I had this in my mind that at least two in each quarter I will get in each book.
Okay.
So I knew that somewhere I have a possibility of chancing, but I wasn't sure.
So now what is the quartile that you have got?
So my quartile right now for the second attempt is 2132.
2132.
Yes.
Okay. So Quant, as always, it was good.
Yeah.
And the fourth book you got second quartile.
Yeah.
So it is comparatively an improvement.
Yeah.
And also the first book got improved,
Yeah.
basically. So now if I ask you at an overall level, if somebody comes and asks for guidance and he's asking for 3 tips from you with respect to how to prepare for this exam, so what would be those 3 tips?
Firstly would be you have to read thoroughly. You need to get your concepts clear, because without concepts there's no exam. Because this exam is based on concepts. Secondly, you have to solve. You, as much as you can solve, you have to solve. Wherever jidhar se mile udhar se utha lo, solve karo. Jidhar se utha lo, solve karo. What I used to do is, while reading, I used to make my own questions. He can ask like this. This can be a possibility question. So you are like, the person can also do the same, because we have the ability to make questions.
Right.
Then third is that if you're solving, you need to rectify your mistakes as well, because rectifying is where you will improve. If in case you're fearing of anything, you have to think that ये नहीं किया तो नहीं होएगा, किया तो होएगा. That's what happened with me for duration. I was afraid of it. किया हो गया, and now I'm very good with duration. कि कोई आके मेरे को पूछेगा, so I'm ready with the duration's answer.
Okay. Wonderful. So first of all, thank you very much now, Sristi, for taking out time and coming and meeting us, because this interview will give a lot of clarity to students who are preparing on their own or who are stuck in the middle of the preparation, right? And people who could not clear in the first attempt. So like you took that step, you didn't stop. You took that step, you took that decision, you put the effort, and now the results are there and you've been able to clear. So wonderful journey. And I'm sure this will help a lot of students. So thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you so much, sir, for your guidance.